up, y'all? It's a Weird Fat and Sober podcast. I am joined by two previous guests, Marcus and Parker, my two homies. What's up, boys?
What's going on, man?
Hey, bud.
Hey.
How are y'all?
Good.
How was y'all's holiday, man? I haven't really seen y'all.
Pretty good, actually. I went out of town.
Where'd you go?
Well, right before school started, I went to Colorado. But then for like Christmas and stuff, I just went home for the day. Saw my kid for Christmas, and that's really it. And for New Year's Eve, I went to the sober party, but I was working, so.
Yeah. Nice. What about you, parakeets?
I just hung out here.
Yeah.
Worked.
Yeah, nice. So you worked, right? You were at work.
Nice.
Nice Christmas day.
Yeah. And you hit your 2 years in October, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then your 3 years is in May.
Yeah.
My 3 years is next month. So.
Ooh.
Hey, 2020 is a year, dog.
It is, finally.
Yeah.
3 years. It seems like it's. I don't know if it seems like it's been longer than that or what.
Yeah.
Feels like it's been way longer than that.
Really?
I think
feel like it's
sometimes.
been so quick. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, there's some sort I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's happened like that, but then also at the same time, it's like this kind of seems like it's dragging out.
Yeah.
I feel like after a year is whenever it just started flying by.
Right. That first year is so like when you're really starting to go through the steps and getting rid of all that internal shit. Like it drags, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You're just like going through it, you know, and then after that, it's like, you know, like life's pretty chill.
Yeah.
But
it seems like such a long time ago that we were in sober living. It's why it's kind of a weird dynamic for me, because it's like it seems like it flew by. All of a sudden, my life is happening, but then when I think about all of us being, you know, the people that we were 2 years ago, it's like whoa.
Yeah,
that was a long time ago.
And I mean, me and Parker left sober living like almost a year ago, huh? Probably a year ago for you.
A year ago, yeah.
Yeah, and because you left pretty quick.
I stayed there for a year, but I was.
Yeah, that's true.
I left in June of 2018, I think.
Right.
So it's been what, almost a year and a half or something like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Get that 2-year HIPAA.
Yeah, the 2-year HIPAA. That was the idea.
Yeah, but that trips me out because like the treatment center I went to in California, they were hiring people like straight out of the program. Like,
did they take insurance?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not accredited.
No, they were. I think they were JCO accredited. They were a big facility. I don't know how that works. Maybe it was legal.
Throw them under the
California's probably laws are different than ours.
Just throw them under the bus right now.
Right. No. They actually changed company names and everything. But what tripped me out about when I was in treatment was, and I don't know if y'all experienced this, but people were doing the referral thing.
Oh, the patient trading or whatever, brokering, brokering. Yeah, you don't know anything about this. Yeah.
It's sketchy. Basically, the treatment center like has a referral thing, and so if like I know you and you have good insurance and you're a drug addict who needs treatment, like they'll pay me $3,500 or whatever it was to get you into treatment.
Yeah,
and a lot of times the person who's getting the referral will split that with the patient.
Yeah,
and so it's like a human trafficking scam, basically.
Yeah.
And like half of the people that were in there when I was there were doing that. You know.
Yeah. It's also, you can't like with what we're doing, that's why we can't base like house manager pay on the number of occupants of the house, because that's technically the same thing. If it's not really, but it kind of is. Yeah. It could be perceived that way. So that's why it's just got to be a set monthly amount, even if there's nobody living in the house. Because if, you know, we base it on occupancy, then it could be like, oh, you're paying your house manager based on how many people are in there, and so it's incentive for him. For him to fill the house. The house manager fill the house up.
It's so dicey. It's almost like private prisons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's exactly.
Where like the people who own the private prison will like lobby those states to make more laws to keep more people in. So it's like, it's a weird thing, you know, like the treatment industry. Yeah. And so I mean, with that we might as well get into it. I mean, if you guys want to go ahead and announce what y'all are doing, I mean.
Okay. Yeah. So Parker and I are putting together a sober living, something I've been doing with somebody else, different company name. We're basically taking that over. We're taking over the existing house, and then we just came today from putting new beds and stuff into a second house to basically double our capacity to 10 clients, where we only have 5 right now. We've been doing okay. I've been doing it right at a year. I started December of 2018. Parker's helped out over that period of time, just whenever I go to town or whatever. He's kind of filled in my place, but now we're doing this together, and he's gonna fill in the new house.
It's cool, man.
Yeah,
it's awesome. It's crazy to me that like people in recovery, like not even that long term of recovery, you know what I mean? You haven't even hit 3 years yet, and y'all are like starting a company and like doing like, you know, big stuff, man. It's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It was something that I know that I was thinking about that on the way here. Like, there's always been this thing in my life where I'll visualize something and I'm like, it's impossible. There's no way I can ever achieve that. And one of the things was in treatment, when I was in treatment, I remember specifically having this idea of like, I just want to speak. I want to talk to people, right? I want to be, for whatever reason, I like daydreamed myself standing on a stage, right? And speaking to like a crowd of people. Right. And that ended up manifesting itself. And then after that, maybe after about a year of being in recovery, I had this idea, this daydream of owning a company.
Right.
And I didn't really know what that was, but I knew it would be in this industry somehow. And then basically that's how it's unfolding now. And I don't think it's anything that I manifest. I think it's God that puts something in my mind. He's like, hey, here's a little idea of what you may end up doing. And it kind of plays out like in a daydream, and then it gives me a path to follow. And that's what we've done.
I remember that. It was probably around a year ago. It was whenever school started last year. You started talking about that. We went out to eat.
Move the mic a little closer to you, Bubba.
And then that's whenever we kind of talked about it that evening of starting something, but at the time we didn't know exactly what we wanted to do.
Oh, yeah, that was after celebration one night, wasn't it? Yeah.
I think it was the first one of the semester.
Yeah, probably. We went to, because it was me, you, and Bert. Yeah.
And, man, it's crazy, and it's, you know, because this is the field I wanted to go into.
Right.
You know, counseling, therapy, that kind of thing. You know, we're still in school. We can't
really work in.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, right here is a perfect opportunity for us to still give back, still help out to the community, help out to people what we want to do.
Yeah.
But on a smaller level right now and eventually get there.
Right.
But this gives us that opportunity to start on that career, start on that path.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like, you know, the sober living that we all went to, we had good role models and who are doing that actively, and they're growing, and they're people to look at, and I'm sure that y'all kind of like looked up to them, the owners of the door and stages of recovery. I mean, I don't know, do y'all feel that way? Did y'all like kind of like see what they were doing and be like, you know, I kind of want to do this, or I could do this. Yeah. I mean, I feel like out of all the companies around here, like they're the ones, other than just the fact that we live there and like we were around them, but they also are like the most like personable in the community, and they also are like are well known because of the, you know, New Year's Eve party and stuff. And so I mean, is that something that y'all want to try to be, like kind of emulate, is like to not only to have the company and be part of the community, but to like, or not to yourselves be part of the community. I mean, to contribute that way. I mean, is that really the goal, I guess, is like just grow it? I mean,
I've always looked up to them as role models for sure. I don't want to be anything like them, and not for any reason other than I want to be different.
Right.
We want to be individual, I think. But I've always looked up to them as role models, like ever since the day I moved in. And I think it was Anthony that kind of showed me around at first, and just seeing the way they interacted and the way they composed themselves and how they did business from the beginning with me was really great.
Yeah.
I always appreciated the way they treated me, and I know looking back at that, like that's what I want to be at that level of composure and just like professionalism, because from throughout my stay there, they always treated me great, and I want to be at that level. I just want to do things in our way. I don't want to do anything at all how they do it, really. And like I said, it's not for any other reason that we just want to be individual. Right. We just want to be different. I think the way they do things is incredible. We're gonna go down our path and see how it works for us. Maybe that's a little hard headed. I don't know.
No. I mean,
but I think, you know, I agree. Like, I like the way how they handled it the whole time. Very business, but
they ran a house meeting.
The owner's there, runs a house meeting. You know,
everybody knows him. He knows everybody. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely feel like that's what we're going for as well.
Yeah.
Is to know on a first name basis. It's not like, oh, who's the owner or where are they at? Like, we're gonna be there, be a part of everything.
Yeah. It's cool, man.
Yeah, we'll be fully hands-on, and because right now, especially now, because it is just the two of us.
Yeah.
You know, it is just the two of us going to be involved in the company as far as the day-to-days and dealing with the clients, and there's nobody else right now. Right now, it's just us.
Basically, it's you two, your two's company, but it's like y'all kind of have an angel investor, if you will, who's just kind of financially backing you, essentially, right?
Yeah, and that was also another God thing as well, because it started with you and I, Dan.
Yeah, I know. I remember.
Yeah, so
that's why it trips me out, man. Because I remember you just, going into that company that you worked for, just like, I'm going to try to get a job there, and then you did, and then now this dude's helping you start the company that y'all,
Yeah, and I can kind of tell that story real quick.
Yeah,
I'm sure you know most of this. I don't know.
I don't know about this one.
Oh, well, so Dan got me a job. I got back from Beaumont or something. We were starting school. I was broke. I had no money because I'd spent those 3 months down there after the hurricane. And I came back to school with basically nothing. And he got me a job with him landscaping. We were working for a landscape company. We were doing a job in Littlefield. Right? Littlefield?
Yeah.
Something like that. Anyways, we were going down on Clovis Highway. And I have history in irrigation, right? Pivot irrigation. So, and I didn't know there was a Valley dealership here. I had worked for a Lindsay dealership in a different town for a little bit, and I didn't like it. Didn't work out, whatever. Then I ended up going to work with Dan, and we drove by this Valley dealership, and I thought, man, that's what I like. Those are the machines that I like the most. I wanted to work on them. And so I just basically the next day kind of ditched him and was like, I'm going to go apply for a job. I'm going to go beg them for a job. And I just walked in. I didn't know anybody there. They looked at me like, who is this guy that just came in here and asked for a job? Like, that's really strange. Hasn't happened since. Hasn't happened before that, I don't think. But anyways, so I did that, and they hired me. They tried me out, and they hired me, and then I worked there for a year, and that's how I met. His name's Greg, and he's a businessman, local businessman. He owns a dealership. He owns a bunch of houses in town, stuff like that. And it took me a little over a year to kind of prove myself to him that I was even worth it as an employee for his irrigation company. And after that happened, I kind of proved myself a little bit, showed him that I was worth a little, some investment. He got really interested in the sober living that I was already doing, because I was living there and working at the company at the same time. And it intrigued him, and he's been looking for a way to give back himself, and so it was just an opportunity for him to basically, invest his money in something worthwhile. Yeah. So he's just trusted me, and of course he's met Parker multiple times, and he's just entrusted us to do this. So there's the financial component is difficult because we're both broke college kids. I mean,
that's why it's so incredible to me. I mean, like, y'all are young, I mean, a lot of people don't even really try to start a business until, their 30s, mid-30s, you know what I mean? A lot of people spend their, young adult life working, gaining experience or a degree, or even, gaining experience in a field, and then they start their own companies. So it's cool, man. It's cool to see, like, where we all are and stuff, and
and I don't want it to get it wrong, but we're definitely going into debt. It's not like he's just saying, here's a bunch of money. Right. We're keeping track of all of it. And,
of course.
And he basically, instead of going into debt ourselves to a bank or an institution, we're going into debt to a business partner.
Well, that's why I kind of use the term angel investor. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what it's like. Yeah. He doesn't really want any part of it other than like to get paid back and make some money off it, I'm sure. But it's just it's cool, man. It's crazy that being your friend and like being your roommate and working with you like at that job and stuff, and like just watching all of this kind of happen, and like you're just a total self-starter, man. It's cool. And I don't know,
I think that's definitely one of the reasons like I was like attracted over to Marcus, and especially like all you other guys that have more time than me.
Yeah.
I was like, these guys are doing the right thing. They're doing well. Yeah, man, Marcus is just always having these ideas and all this. I was like, man, he's the guy that I need to be around and follow, and it's cool to see everything he does, man. This guy does a lot. Still goes to school. Makes okay grades.
I don't know. I like to tell. It's funny now because I finally did it. I pulled it off last year. I got every grade, every letter you can get. A, B, C, D, and F. So,
really? What did you fail?
That's a communications class that I just It was an online class because I neglected to go to class.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, was that the one you didn't do? And then
that's the one
you were trying to catch up. But...
she gave me the opportunity to finish at the end of the year, but I had other things to do.
It's hard, dude.
Just trying to start a company. Sorry.
Yeah, I guess we're just trying to start our lives. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know that. And I'm like with getting into this thing, I knew that I needed somebody to help financially, but then I also knew that I can't spread myself so thin. Then that's where Parker comes in, and that's where he is a huge component of this. Like I wouldn't be doing this to myself if he wasn't here doing it with me.
Well, I know like over the last year, I mean, I know there's been a bunch of times where he's like, when you are busy with something else, he's like, been able to go drug test the guys or run the house meeting. And so, I mean,
well, and I always say it like this, and this is how I explained it to Greg before he even ever met him or anybody that whenever I bring him in on something is like, I'm very meticulous and very nitpicky about the way that I do things, and I want everything done a very specific way. And it seems like if I'm not there to do it, it doesn't get done that way, except whenever Parker does it.
Right.
It's like as soon as if I'm doing anything, it doesn't matter what it is, I need to leave, or it's a 2-man thing, and it's like no matter what, I know that I don't have to worry about what he's gonna do. Right. Because it's going to get done exactly the same way I would do it, and it's not like it would matter if it was getting done any different. It's just that's just how it works out that way. And,
y'all are very similar in personality and work ethic. Yeah, and
I think that's the biggest part is the work ethic.
Right,
and that's something that I observed really early on with like recovering addicts, especially our age and a little bit younger.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, I think about some of the dudes that we were in treatment or in sober living with. And like they're just laid up playing Call of Duty. Their parents pay their rent, and all are like us that are like
they live in the life.
Yeah, I know, bro. They're eating fucking Hot Pockets and McDonald's all day, and like all of us like that don't have that are like I gotta get a job and I mean fuck man, but
yeah, that's why I was always gravitated towards Parker on being a partner in something.
Yeah,
because I know that I don't have to worry about anything.
Right.
I never have to. When I went to Colorado this weekend, I asked him to not really watch the guy. I mean, they're grown men, but you know what I mean, just to take over my role.
Change your diapers.
Yeah. to take over my role for those 4 days or whatever I was going to be gone. I took my daughter snowboarding.
Yeah.
And I sent him the login for the cameras, and I didn't look at anything for the rest of the weekend. I didn't care.
Nice that you can be able to do that and trust him. And
yeah, well, because the other 360 days of the year, that's what I'm doing.
Just looking at the cameras.
Yeah, just looking at the cameras and fulfilling all those duties. But I mean, he handled it, and I didn't even think about it.
Right.
Never once crossed my mind that I needed to check in.
So I mean, going forward, like now that y'all are gonna start this, and both of you are gonna be house managers of your own sober living, what are like some things that y'all noticed in your time as being a client that you're gonna try to avoid, or is there anything that you noticed like? You've seen other companies or the one we lived for, like they did that you disagree with, that you don't like, you're going to try to like, work hard to not do. Is there anything like that? I mean,
well, for me, I think it's going to be more of me getting in there and getting more experience.
Right.
To kind of see how it is on the other side, because there was times I'd be frustrated with how they were doing things, but then like now I've gotten more time. I'm like, I understand why they were acting that way to me. Or why they said that. So right. I think for me, it's just going to be getting in there and getting more experience.
Yeah.
Understanding how things go. And I've kind of tried to get some advice from Marcus before we get into this, because he has had that experience over the past year. He's dealt with all these different things, different clients, different ages. For me, it's just going to be getting that experience and learning as I go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think for me, it's I'm working on it right now, trying to be a little less cynical about things, having a little less cynical outlook on the clients, because I think a lot of time, and I see where that had happened in previous house managers and things people that I've dealt with, where it's like, and me now I feel like everybody's trying to lie to me. And I know that that's not the truth. Like 90% of the guys that come through here, like I've formed relationships with, I've formed bonds with, and I really respect them. But then there's like a couple that it's just like they are trying to lie to you, and it's hard for me to differentiate that. Of course, the huge part of it is me and my my ego. I don't want to be tricked, right? Because I'm smarter than you, and I'm all these different things. Like, you can't outsmart me. You know what I mean? I have that ego. Yeah. And I have to check that every single time I go into a conversation with somebody, or every time I go into some sort of interaction, if I am in that house manager role, because that's what I start feeling immediately. It's like, oh, I'm gonna catch you before you do anything wrong. And I can't do that. You know what I mean?
Dude, I feel like when I'm not gonna put his name in this, but our old house manager, that was his biggest. I don't want to like name somebody's character defects, but it definitely seemed like he had trouble with his ego, and it's hard, man. I mean, that's like the biggest thing too, is like just as being a human is like getting over your ego, Yeah. But yeah, I feel like it's a weird position to be in, because it's like we're powerless to our addiction, and then you like get to this point like where you have power over other people, because like you have to do what you say, you know what I mean? And it's like it's any human, like I don't know if you've ever heard of the Hartford prison experiment with Dr. Z, you know what I mean? Like humans just automatically, when we have power, our egos are just like haha, and it's a battle, man. So I mean, I feel like being the direct house manager, and especially living with those other people, it's really hard not to act out an ego. Like that's gonna be like and you've already experienced it doing that for a year. I mean, I feel like any normal, even the best person ever would still like struggle with that. You know what I mean? Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's definitely been a huge issue for me. And I don't know. I mean, your ego isn't. I don't think you have a very big ego. You don't seem like it. You're pretty humble.
I used to.
Pretty
I don't know, man. I seen him choke out his roommate once.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
Oh man,
I think he's a pretty humble guy. But yeah, definitely. I know it happens to me, man. It does. I think that's the only way that I can combat it is to be honest about it.
Right.
And just to say, yes, I do have I will get an ego. I can. It can happen.
We're men. I mean, it's part of fucking existence.
Yeah.
So, I absolutely do have an ego.
Yeah. I guess it's not, I don't see it as much.
I think like kind of what you were saying, like you admit it, you think about it, you know it, you own it. I feel like that's something like I try to practice regularly, just to stay on top of that.
But I hope we helped with that last night.
Oh God, y'all are assholes.
Oh yeah, with the picture,
the profile pictures. Yeah. What was it, about 10 or 11 of us?
Yeah, it was a lot.
So every time I don't know if did I explain it to you?
No, you never told me why we did it.
Every time I leave my phone laying around anywhere, you can take photos. You can take photos of it on the lock screen. And I have a really bad habit of just leaving my phone laying wherever and walking away from it because I don't care. I'd rather be away from it.
Did this in class, the first day of class.
Yeah, it was laying on the table in class. And I walked away from it and I went to the bathroom. It wasn't that big of a deal, but he picks it up every time he sees it and takes a photo of himself. So John Kelly and I were sitting there last night in the office, and I said, I don't remember how it got started, but he was like, we should make it our profile photos on Facebook. That's what everybody did. I mean, it got to the point where like people that we didn't even send people photos, and they were like taking them from other people's profile photos and making them theirs. And like, I mean, we had people like therapists at one of the treatment centers. I mean, random people. Random people just started doing it. And then it was really interesting.
Yeah, I like did it, and then I started seeing everybody else's, and I was like, oh, there was like 12 of us. It was pretty great.
Yeah.
People were like, what the fuck?
He texted me. He said, people are going to think I died.
R.I.P.
But yeah, so we tried to help your ego out a little bit last night.
Yeah.
But no, I don't. That's definitely the only thing I think.
Okay, a little technical difficulty. We were good. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm really proud of you guys for starting all this, and I think it's pretty incredible to see people in recovery. Like, not only do we like recover and get over like one of the hardest things that we go through, and one of the main things that kills people and causes people to go to prison, but like also we start businesses, we get our kids back, we get married, we do all these, we go to school, we do all these like huge things that, like, I don't know about y'all, but like I never thought I moved to Lubbock 8 years ago to go to community college up here, and I never thought that I would go to tech. never thought that I would get the scholarships that I've gotten, you know, like never thought that I'd have a 3.5 GPA. Jeez. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I mean, like, I don't know if you guys feel that way about some of your accomplishments, but when you look back on it, you're like, damn, that was me. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know, is that, do y'all relate to that?
Absolutely. I never thought I'd have a 2.8 GPA.
Yeah, man, like, coming to treatment here, man, I thought I was coming to treatment. I was going to quit drinking for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Did not imagine staying, getting back in school, doing well at work.
Right.
Doing the things I'm doing. Just no way.
Yeah.
Sometimes I stop and think, like, especially when I go home for a couple of days, and then I think, like, that last day, you know, you start thinking about, like, oh, I gotta get back. And you start thinking about everything, and I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
I do a lot.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But yeah, it's good, man. Like you were saying, man, I think for me, it was just finding God again, man.
Yeah.
He gave me all these opportunities.
Right.
And, man, I just had to put it into action.
Yeah, I think it kind of always goes back to work ethic for me. We'll say this real quick. One of the best things that I've ever heard was when I went snowboarding with one of my childhood friends last weekend, and one of the funniest things, and I think it was a compliment to me. He said, "Man," he was trying to put me down, and he was trying to mess with me, but he said, "Man, Lubbock's changed you." And he was, because I was wearing, I don't know, because I was wearing Vans. I don't know. I don't know. He was talking. He was just talking
joggers.
Yeah, he was just talking shit. I don't know what it was, but he was making fun of me for something. He goes, "Man, Lubbock's changed you." And I looked at him and was like, "Yeah, it fucking has. Right. It really has. Like, everything about my life is different. Nothing has changed. But every time I think about it, like, it always goes back to, like, that, of course, like, finding God in my life, but then actually taking, like for me, my higher power can do everything for me. He can put everything in my path. But if I don't take the necessary steps to accomplish those things, I'm going to do nothing.
Right.
And because I remember thinking, like, I don't have to do any of this stuff. Like, I don't have to do anything. I can sit back and coast and do the bare minimum, and I can only go to just 4 meetings a week and get signed off. And
just get a 2.8 GPA.
Just get a 2.8 GPA. That's I'm working really hard. 2.8's me working my ass off.
Yeah.
But anyways, like, in early recovery, like, I can just go to the bare minimum meetings. I can just attend the house meeting. I can, you know,
right.
I'm not going to do any HNIs, not going to do any sponsorship, anything like that. I don't have to do any of that stuff. You know what I mean? I just want to do the bare minimum so that I don't get kicked out of my sober living house.
Yeah.
But then there was people telling me, like, they always talk about the winners and shit like that. And they're like, well, just make an effort to do something. Make an effort. Take the necessary steps to do what God is asking you to do, what he's putting in your path. He can give you all the things that you want, but unless you take action, they're just there. You're not actually going to succeed in anything. You're not going to make any forward progress. You're just sitting stagnant. And that's been something that I've noticed looking at where I'm at now and looking at guys in early recovery. That's, to me, is one of the big game changers.
Yeah.
For somebody in early recovery and kind of seeing it play out with the guys that I'm working with now, like the ones that are taking the initiative and getting out and doing the things that they're supposed to be doing, sponsoring, getting through their steps, making more meetings than they're required, or doing different things to actually encourage forward progress. Like, those guys I'm seeing long-term success in.
Right.
Where the other ones where, like, I either having to say, like, hey, you need to get a job every day, or you need to do this every day. Their success is very limited.
Yeah.
It's limited to the amount of effort they're willing to put in. And I saw that really early on with my life. And just like you said, like, over the Christmas break, I didn't do anything really. Like, I went to work and I kind of messed around with some of the stuff, getting the company ready, but I didn't do a whole lot. Then Thursday hit. And I mean, from 8 a.m. till 10 p.m., it was 30-minute blocks of something different.
Right.
Whether it was ASAS or the Cove, which is the name of the company. I guess we didn't really mention that. The Cove or school or something. Like, something was always happening every 30-minute block. And by the end of the day, man, I felt fulfilled.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I agree about the, like, we just putting in the action. Like, God's always put in, and I feel like that even through my addiction. That there was always these opportunities he presented to me. It was just, I never took the action. And early in recovery, I was like, man, I realized that. And I was like, if he's giving me these opportunities all the time, like, I can't imagine what's going to happen if I put in the action and do the right things. And it's led us to where we are now.
Right.
And like Mark just said, I did the same thing. That's, I think, why I, like, gravitated towards y'all. because y'all were seeking a higher power. Y'all were doing the next right thing. So like he was saying, that's definitely what I'm going to be looking for our clients. Man, it's a good way to gauge where they are, not only in just recovery, but their life and how they are mentally. And I'm just ready to, get that and get some more experience. And I think it's really cool to see that, because I thought it was really cool seeing y'all do it and some of our other friends in recovery. Like, I'm ready to see some more people straight out of treatment get their life back together, do great things, do things that y'all have done.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, man. I mean, we see a lot of miracles in recovery. I say that all the time, and it's like, something lately that's been on my mind is like, and I'm not trying to come from a place of judgment, but I see people, and I'm not a great example of this. Like, I'm not a great example of recovery sometimes, but I see people that get into recovery and they're just like, you see them at the same meetings, doing the same stuff, living the same life, and I've been like, in my mind, God's been kind of telling me like, I didn't get sober just to like barely like survive, what I mean?
Right. Just to get by.
Yeah, like like that's one thing. Like I quit nicotine. I was like, dude, I didn't get sober just to fucking get lung cancer. You know what I mean? Like that's like something like, and like there was for the first few days, like it was really hard. And like I really wanted fucking nicotine. Like, and I don't know. I've been thinking that lately. Like I didn't get sober just to like, like do the bare minimum. I mean, what that happened, but like that's not what I was like trying to do. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just cool. Like, you see some people who get into recovery and like they just like, I just got to stay sober, and it's like, yeah, you got to stay sober, but like there's more to life than just being sober. Like, there's like more to life than just like working a job, going to meetings, smoking cigarettes, drinking coffee every meeting. Like it's more to life than that, and that's just something that's been kind of on my heart. But yeah, man, I mean, I'm excited for y'all, and like it's just cool. It's cool to see where we all are, and it's weird too. Like it's weird to see the people who like make it and don't make it. Like we've all had close friends like that we thought were like in this for life have dropped out, and hopefully they make it back into the rooms. Hopefully they make it back into recovery, but they don't always do. But I don't know. It's cool, man. It's weird too. It's like there's like a slim amount of people who actually like stick it out. Like even people who's like get a year or two, like they fall off. And we're all coming up on we're coming up on 3. You just hit your 2 years, and this is awesome, man. Like. But another thing I want to talk to y'all about, because we're all like, I've been in a relationship for over a year now, and y'all both are in new relationships.
We both start scoring, man.
It's like, oh, shit.
I don't know. I mean, like, I did the fucking typical what you're not supposed to do. I got in a relationship 6 months into being sober.
Yeah, right.
Total fucking, failure of relationship. I did everything you're not supposed to do. I mean, I, got caught DMing my ex on Instagram. I did it all, man. I mean, I didn't cheat, but like, did everything but pretty much, and like, I wasn't okay. I wasn't over my ex. I wasn't over my addiction, like I'd had a 4-step experience, but I still like wasn't fully healed, and I mean, I don't know. It's weird though, but even still though, like even my relationship now, super healthy, healthiest relationship I've ever been in. But I still catch myself like, and she, she calls it PTSD, but like I catch myself expecting her to get mad or treat me the way like my exes have. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Do y'all experience that in your relationships? Like, is there times when you like anticipate a fight that doesn't happen? You know what I mean? And you're like ready for it, or like you say something that's. Like, like trying to snap back and it's like not even real. I mean, have y'all had to deal with that?
Sometimes I create a fight.
That's what I'm saying. I make shit up, not make shit up, but I'm like perceive her to get mad and I get mad, and it's like nobody's fucking mad but me.
I'm preemptively mad.
Yeah. It's I know that it's like character defects coming up to the surface. Like
I did the same thing. That's what we're working through right now, because I mean, of course, I can't air her stuff out, but she has some of that too. She's normal. She's not an addict.
Right. That's we're all dating normal people.
Right. Yeah. So. Okay. Yeah. So that's an interesting dynamic.
Right.
It's and maybe we can have a little bit of a conversation because I need help. I don't understand.
Dude, honestly, I think it's better than dating somebody in recovery. Like at least from the one I had, because the person, like when you're dating someone in recovery, they're like, you need to call your sponsor. Yeah. At least my ex was like, I don't know if every girl in recovery is like that, but
mine's a therapist. At a treatment so
she just starts analyzing. She puts her little therapy
and
hat
that's another thing too, because like sometimes she's not.
Right.
I just create this in my head. I'm like, oh, she thinks I'm a client right now.
She analyzing,
but she's just being real in herself, and I'm like,
you start building these walls for no reason just because she is who she is. Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm not one of your clients.
Yeah,
that's interesting to date somebody who's a therapist, like, and you're like going into the same field. Like, I'm sure that happens a lot. You know?
Right.
But it's just funny. I mean, I feel like those fights are like way more probably intense. I don't know if you fight or anything. Like, I mean, I'd imagine two people who are psychologists or therapists, like their fights, if they fought, would be way more intense than the average person's. You know what I mean? I just never thought of that. Like,
she just remains calm.
Yeah. We had this conversation the other night when my girlfriend and I get into a fight, we just scream at each other.
Really?
Basically. We get all the emotion out, and it's all out. It's all on the table. She knows exactly how I feel. I know exactly how she feels. And
you fuck. No,
I don't. It's never. We've never called each other names. Yeah. We've never like put each other down. But we're very emotional. Very. Yeah. I don't know if it's passionate. I don't think that's it. I think it's just we just get angry, right? And we put it all out there, and then it's over. We separate for a few hours or whatever, and then we're back to it, and we get to discuss it, and we know how each other feels. And I don't. That's not the way it is with you and Elite.
Well, I mean, we do, but like, there's times where I'm just like, scream at me, get it out, like, just get mad and call me a name or something. Just yell at me for a second. Let's get this out. And she just remains calm. She talk to me.
Healthy.
She'll like go, she'll leave me alone for like 30 minutes and walk back up to me, just like, you okay? I'm like, fuck.
That's almost worse, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I
feel guilty immediately.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah. As stressful as it can be to be in a relationship like I am, where we don't fight that often, of course, like it's pretty normal. Right. But when we do, like that can be stressful. Right. But honestly, I prefer it that way because I know exactly how she feels.
Yeah, that's good.
I hear everything she says, and in that moment, I don't digest any of it because I'm just as angry, right? I'll match her. I have a really bad habit of matching somebody's emotions. Yeah. I can't stay level. Yeah, if somebody's high,
same way.
If somebody's high,
yeah,
I get high too. Not high.
Why are you?
Whoa! If somebody's hot, I guess like angry, I get angry too. So we always end up at that same level. But then after we, separate a little bit, and I don't know. The one thing I know I struggle with, I don't know about y'all, but I start like, she may have an issue. She may have something going on in her life, or she's doing, it may be a discussion that we're having, and I start trying to implement steps into it.
Oh.
I got to pull that back because I'm just like trying to be helpful, but it's the only form of help that I have. It's the only form of help that I know.
Yeah.
So
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard, especially like, we learn a lot about mental health being in recovery, and we learn a lot about mental health being in the degree that we're pursuing too. And it's like, it's not like I don't think any of us analyze our significant other, but it's like we see sometimes where something is coming, which place it's coming from. Like sometimes like me and my girl, we won't really get into arguments. Like we never have bickered, but like sometimes one of us will kind of lash out, and it's like usually from like past shit that doesn't have anything to do with the other person. Or we're anticipating something that's not actually happening, and it's like we haven't actually had any real fights, but we've had like a couple of times where it was just like we're like not communicating well, and it's a communication breakdown, And I don't know, that's weird, man. It's hard, but
man, you got me thinking. I think I start
fights
our arguments. Yeah, I don't think she started one of them.
Yeah. I know I do for sure.
My chick won't fight with me because she's had abusive, exes and stuff, and she. If I'm being a dick, she just shuts down, and then I realize like, oh, I'm being an asshole, and I have to apologize, love on her, and like until it's okay, Which I mean is different. I am so used to like, like my ex of 5 years almost broke my nose one time. She was like hitting me, and then I grabbed her arm, and then I grabbed her other arm, and then she fucking headbutted my nose, and it just like cracked, and my eyes were black right here. And My nose is already fucked up enough and big. I don't need an Owen Wilson nose. But.
Yeah. No, I was in a very similar relationship where it would get physical, and it's like I'm used to that level of intensity. Yeah. So now when I'm in a normal relationship, I would say healthy relationship, it's strange. It's strange for me to understand, because sometimes I'm like, as soon as I feel a little bit of like tension at all, I'm on the defensive. I
totally get it. I'm the same way. I'm like, why are you mad? You know?
Yeah, yeah. And I get mad that she's mad. Yes. And it's like that's not how normal people react, but it's just because of years and years of like
toxic relationships,
toxic stuff. Yeah,
trauma in a relationship, and it's hard, man.
It's funny. We'll be having a conversation. You can feel a little bit of tension, and she'll be like, "You're getting toxic," and I'm like, "Let me show you."
Ain't seen toxic yet.
But she knows, and we've had those conversations. Like she knows my history. She knows pretty much everything that's ever happened in my relationship. So she understands who I am and what I do. And she's not really afraid to tell me, hey, you're being toxic. Shut up. Right. And that's helpful for me.
I think that's like one of the best things about my girlfriend. And she's a therapist. She understands that she works with addicts and alcoholics every day. So that does make it hard for if I ever try to bring in step work. She's like, I know that.
I'm telling them about it.
But man, it's been great, cool. Being able to talk to her about my insecurities and just things like that. Like she can see it. Right. When I'm starting to get insecure, like she'll be like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But it makes it so much easier, that open communication, man. This relationship isn't anything like I've ever had in the past.
Right.
It's amazing, man. Like, but I think I do start all the arguments for sure. I don't think I've ever she's the thing I'm mad at.
Right.
It's always like something I bring from my life.
Yeah.
It's either when I'm not spiritual.
Yeah. Yep.
Or
there's an insecurity from
insecurity. I'm not working with a sponsor or something. It always comes from my life, and then I bring it home and I throw a little temper tantrum.
Yep. Psychically vomit all over the other person just with emotion and all this shit.
She's in there cooking dinner and stuff, and I come in, dump my jacket down.
You're gonna be my punching bag. Yeah. I think a
punching bag.
Yeah, I think I do that as well. I definitely do.
Yeah.
I have a hard time with differentiating all the different parts of my life. That's probably been the most challenging thing for me, I think, is going from school to work to ASAS to the company to recovery, and then having a little bit of time left over for a relationship. It's hard balancing everything, but I've had to make time because I always felt like I was never worthy of a relationship.
Right, me too.
I always felt like I didn't deserve. I was kind of a martyr in that area for a long time, where I was just like, no, I'm not going to get in a relationship. I don't deserve it. I'm not worthy of love and all these different things. And then I saw this girl walk into the gym one night, and it was like, all of that was like, yeah, maybe I am. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then I started I didn't really do enough work on myself before I approached her. So I'm still having to work throughout a lot of that, but just feeling like I'm worthy of that. Feeling like I'm worthy of having a relationship and being in one, and then prioritizing my time without giving too much to like overbearing.
Right.
So.
I think God played a big part in my relationship, man.
Yeah.
I'd been waiting, and then I was searching, like just constantly looking for a girlfriend.
Right.
And, I met with my sponsor, and it was just like, man, it's going to happen when it needs to happen. It's going to happen on God's time. And so I kind of reeled it back in and just started focusing on myself again.
Yeah.
And I'd seen her at the treatment center 8-9 months before. And,
she wasn't your therapist when you were there, was she?
No, she didn't work there when I was there. Yeah. So I couldn't date her if she was. But but I went to work with the sponsee, saw her out there. I was like, damn, who's that?
Stop.
And then
you know what all that is.
Right? And then I'd always ask people out there, like, is she single? Is she single?
Creep.
And
he's all joking. He's all you.
Oh shit! But
you're my perfect little flower.
I kept asking about the wrong girl. I was saying the wrong name every time I would ask. So I'd be like, no, she's dating somebody. And then she rolled by on Facebook one day and saw her picture. I was like, oh my God, I've been asking
Bitches
for
you may know.
It's like, I've been asking for the wrong chick this whole time.
Damn, they slid in the DMs.
But it was cool though, because like, yeah, I did. But it was cool though, because like, maybe a month before that happened, like, my sponsor was like, you need to get back into yourself, you know. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of a relationship, but you have to be the best you. So I started focusing on myself again and just worrying about myself, and that was it. And this just came about.
Can you answer that?
Can I?
Yeah, I need a pee, so we'll pause for a second. Yeah, it's loud mic. But yeah, Parker, what were you saying? Relationship.
Yeah, just this. My sponsor was telling me to get back to myself, and so I did. And you know, met with her, reached out to her, and it was the first date. We actually went to one of your shows.
Oh yeah. I didn't realize it was y'all's first date. That's cute. That's awesome.
Message her.
Look at you.
I know,
matchmaker.
You didn't even know it.
Messaged her that morning, and I was like, "Where can we go?" I think I texted you and asked if you had a show.
Yeah, you did.
But, you know, I think that's like God was showing me that I was doing the right thing, man. I got to get back to myself, make myself the best me I can be.
Right.
And thing is with her, she just gotten out of a rocky relationship. And,
that's okay, go ahead.
Gotten out of a rocky relationship, and she was doing some soul searching herself. And so it was really neat to, I think how God just brought us together.
Yeah. It's awesome.
But I think what helped with that was listening to my sponsor and not getting out there right away and dating and trying to figure that self out. Because like Mark was saying, I didn't feel worthy or feel like I deserved a relationship.
Right.
You know, until, you know, a year and a half in.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I wish I would have listened to my sponsor. He was like, you're not ready to be in a relationship. And I was like, dude, it's fine. I mean, I did just break up with my girlfriend of 5 years 4 months ago, but it's okay. And I mean, it's weird. Like when that shit, I mean, I used that person. Like I used drugs and alcohol. You know what I mean? I used them to make me feel better. And I don't know. It's cool though. I mean, it seems like we're all, you know, this far in our sobriety and with new relationships, like it's the best one yet. You know, I know that y'all both have said that just now, and like, and I feel the same way about mine. And it's like, it's a direct result of learning how to cope, of learning how, you know, through the steps, learning like how to get rid of shit and not like, you know, take it out on other people. I mean, it's still a struggle, but it's just cool, man. It's cool because I always like wanted love. I always wanted a relationship when I was younger, and I was like so desperate and codependent, you know, when I was a younger man. Like I fucking, you know, would date a girl and I would use them to feel better, you know what I mean? And I don't know, it's not like that anymore, you know. And it's cool. It seems like y'all are kind of, you know, in the same way. And I don't know, but
how long have y'all been together?
A year and 3 months. No, yeah. October was a year.
You have to edit all that out.
Dude, neither one of us are like care. Like we almost forgot about like our 1 year. Like, but
wow,
that's awesome, man.
I think I'm in the shortest term relationship so far. Out of all of you, I've been
like a couple months.
Yeah, I don't know. October, I guess. October. No, I don't. Yeah, October probably.
See? We're gonna have to edit
that
out.
I got like 3 months since October.
Yeah. Well, and it was weird because like I
talked for a while too.
That was the thing is I was so hesitant. Like I was like, ooh,
I don't know what I want.
Well, no, it wasn't even that. I didn't think she liked me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
didn't think she liked me, but it's because I was so scared.
That's how I was with my girlfriend. I didn't know. I was like, dude, she can't possibly like me.
Yeah, exactly.
She's way too hot for me, dude. Yeah. Like this doesn't make sense. I'm like, I don't
Dude,
understand.
I was so intimidated on our first date. We were like walking up. I was just like, shit. I'm not making it through this damn day.
I remember I had to had to calm myself when I approached her for the first. Because I talked to her in the gym, which is creepy in and of itself. Yeah. Shouldn't be doing that.
No, it's not.
I had seen her like 10, maybe 8 or 10 times previous, and I'd always thought one day, today's the day. If she comes in, I'm going to talk to her today. And I never did. And finally, I was like, nah, I'm never going to speak to her. You know what I mean? And that was the day I was like, oh shit, like I got to go do it. I just have to get over it and go do it. And I spoke to her, and then ever since then I was like, no, she's not interested in me for like a month. Like, she's not actually interested in me. And then finally I can't remember, she said something, and I was like, so can we be like a boyfriend and girlfriend kind of thing? Like a child pretty much.
Like
and she was like, yeah, and she's like, oh, well, let's think about it. And we kind of started dating, and then it evolved. But it took so long that I was like, nah, I started to doubt myself. But it in reality, that's just the way normal people develop relationships. Right. And I had no idea because I've never been like that. I always jumped in. I'd meet a girl, and like within 2 days we were like living together. You know what I mean? It was always ridiculous like that. Yeah. And so for me, it was really hard for me to understand. You know,
I mean, I'm riding that boat, man. But that's another thing. Like I had always experienced dating, like how you're talking and how y'all's relationship started. With this one, like was just like that automatic connection. Yeah. And like I said, something I've never felt before. And it's still that way. It's crazy. Yeah. Like I was thinking about today, I was just like, it's crazy. Like that I feel the same way about her now, you know, as I did at the beginning. Like it's, and it's never been
before
that way.
You had sex.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, dude. Like before I got sober, I remember even after I got sober a couple times, I would like a girl, and then you have sex, and you're like, oh,
never mind.
Right? Yeah.
I'm gonna go home.
Yeah. I always had a real weird issue with sex because of that. Right. Because I was like, no, I'm just not gonna have sex because I want to still like you I want to still like you tomorrow. You know what I mean?
I heard somebody talking about this, and they said that it's like a biological thing.
Yeah.
Because like we are just hardwired to like impregnate and try to make as many like spawn to like genetic like to keep our genetics keep going. Mm-hmm. And so it's like something that like it's just we can't help it. I mean, we can. Like, we have to try to like fight that, but like it's natural for men to we just want to like just come and go to the next one. Yeah. Like it's just,
Yeah, it's how evolution works. I mean, we get to continue offspring. Yeah. I get it. Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people are going to disagree with that. A lot of females, maybe. But
I mean,
I think it was.
I'm not saying it's right. It's fucked up. I mean,
but we're animals at the end of the day. Yeah. So I think that's the way it is, and I know that I've experienced that firsthand. Right. Where I'm like, I love this woman, and then 15 seconds later, I really need to go home.
I think I left the microwave.
Exactly. So, but I don't have that experience anymore.
Right.
I every day that I'm with her name's Lisa. Every day I'm with Lisa. It gets
just doxed his own chick, dude.
I don't know what that means, but
just like putting her name out there.
No, that's not really her name, actually. It's not. It's what she goes by, but which is gonna sound really weird to people who don't know what that means. But every day that I've been with her, I've gotten more comfortable and more. My feelings have grown. Right. Which is something that I haven't experienced in a really long time, and I don't think I've ever experienced it in this way anyways. So I know that like the whole sex thing like that, I always thought it was an issue for me, but I think it was just I would use sex to feel validation. Right. And now I'm not doing that this time around, and it took a lot of effort on my part to avoid that. But now that I don't use that as a validation that she's actually interested in me, like it's different. Even that relationship is different. Like it's something that I've never experienced before because I've always used like sexual satisfaction and things like that as a validation for myself.
For sure. It's I don't know, sex is powerful and it's just as much of a drug as anything else, man. And it's like,
oh hell yeah,
dude. I mean, I don't know. Now that I'm older and like gone through all this shit, like it's like it's crazy to me how young like most people have sex, you know, and it's like it's dangerous, man. Like it's like not only is it like you can fuck your soul up and your mind up, but like you can fuck your life up getting somebody pregnant, you know, when you're young. And like, not saying that's, you know, you're gonna fuck your life up, but I'm just saying like, I'm not saying having children is a terrible thing. Jesus, that's not terrible.
That little,
you know what I'm saying?
The little brunette 8-year-old that looks like me would.
I know. I didn't mean it like that. I'm just saying it's a loaded gun, you know. Like,
yeah, no, it is.
It's crazy.
It is if you're gonna continue to like do it over and over again, because if I had more than one kid, that would be with multiple women. It'd be really hard for me. I don't know how
a lot of dudes I know from Lubbock that have kids that I used to party with, dude. Like they are the worst parents like I've seen, man. Like a lot of deadbeat dads and stuff. And like,
I was that way for a long time.
Yeah,
you know, like until I got sober.
That trips me out because I know you. I only know you as like a good dad. Like I remember when you were in sober living, you called Adeline every night. Like we FaceTimed her every night. You know, it's crazy. It's like it's weird. It's weird. Do you ever think about that? Like the fact that we know each other as like this like good version of each other. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if y'all would even fuck with me like at like, you know, full on addiction.
Yeah. Right. I know nobody would fuck with me.
Yeah, like I'm an asshole. Like I mean I'm nice, but like I'm fucking. I use everybody.
Yeah, I'm
everybody's a means to an end.
That's the thing. Like I was such an angry, egotistical guy. Like y'all would hate me.
Yeah.
100%.
I think we were all just exact opposite of who we are now. Yeah. Probably. I know I was.
I remember I heard somebody, one of our old friends, I don't think they are sober anymore, said like, "Don't you guys wish that we could all party together like one time?" Like, dude, no, bro. Like, I imagine all of us together at our bottom, and it would be just a sad
fist fight.
Yeah,
probably.
dude.
I'd be trying to pour whiskey down your throat. Come on, drink with me.
Blow this straw of cocaine up my ass real quick, guys.
Yeah, that would be a horrible idea.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's an hour right there. And so now I think I'm going to introduce this new segment. I have been stockpiling TikToks.
Oh, okay.
Of yourself?
No. Of other people.
Are you going to drink this?
I have been drinking.
Can I drink
what
some?
do you mean?
Yeah. Drink some.
I want you guys to try and wash these. And we're going to try to figure out what kind of drugs these people are on.
Thanks.
This guy over here.
My mouth got dry.
These are good.
I drank all mine. What do you go for me?
It doesn't have sugar, does it?
Yeah, it has tons of sugar in it, actually.
Does it?
Fuck.
Yeah. Sorry.
Both of us.
Keto, yeah.
Fucking asshole. Thank you, though, for getting it.
All right.
You're welcome for your diabetes.
I don't know what to call this like segment, if I should call it something, but maybe TikTok time. But
well, let's find out what we're doing, or let's see what we're doing, and then maybe we can name it.
I should have sat closer.
I've got a bunch. So
yeah, do you want to switch places?
No, I'm good.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah. You can probably see it's pretty big.
Here we go.
Bro. Yes, bro. Bro, are you tossing out that crystal moon water? Yeah, I was about to. Why? Bro, the benefits of crystal moon water are world renowned, bro. Bro, thanks for the tip.
What was that?
I'm not gonna lie.
What do y'all think that first?
Dude, I've seen this guy a few times.
That first one or this one?
This person.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about the first one first. I didn't get to go into that. What do y'all think about this guy? What do you think he's on?
Bro. Yes, bro. Bro, are you tossing out that crystal moon water? Yeah, I was about to. Why? Bro, the benefits of crystal moon water are world renowned, bro. Bro, thanks for the tip.
Definitely on meth.
Yeah, you think meth?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I would.
Meth?
Yeah.
I think like meth, and then he's been awake for like a few weeks, and then he like took acid or TCI or some shit.
Yeah, he smoked some weed to try to come down, and that's where he fucking ended up. But that also reminds me of like all the people. Like I don't want to put anybody's program down, but all the people that do like the crystals and all that stuff. That's exactly the first thing I thought of.
Yeah,
like a Himalayan salt lamp.
Right. I mean, I'm into some of that shit. You know, like there's chakra tapestry behind you, but
yeah,
I'm not like chugging crystal moon water like that, dude. You know.
Well, I knew this girl back home that was very much so like that.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, I think we all know somebody that owns a little too much turquoise. You know what I mean? Ready for the next one?
Yeah.
I've got several right here, so.
Barbecue chicken pizza. You born Jesus?
I'm not gonna lie, that's like looks like me.
It actually looks like all of us.
That's me 4 years ago for sure.
Yeah.
Barbecue chicken pizza.
So what do you think? You think he's drunk? You think he's stoned?
Drunk and high for sure.
Yeah. For sure. That looked like drunk stone munchies to me. It's like
he got drunk.
3 in the morning. You just got home. You smoked a fat bowl. You've been drinking all night. It's like, the pizza.
Well, now, I mean, honestly, now I'm really hungry. I was very hungry.
Barbecue chicken pizza?
Yeah.
All right.
What's next?
Oh, this one is specifically for you, Marcus.
Oh boy, is it number 4?
It's number 4
see it already.
Well, we just flipped the goddamn truck. Guess I better fucking climb out now.
That's the whole TikTok. I was really hoping. I went to his profile and I tried to see if he had took other TikToks of his truck or anything, but that was it. And
That's
it. Yeah, you can hear the sirens. Fuck, dude.
So I wish I would have had some sort of, I guess, sense to record it when I did this. Well,
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, because when you did the podcast, you talked about flipping your truck. So.
Well, yeah, I smashed it through a fence. But when I did that, the first I had to pee so bad because I was so shitty.
Yeah.
You can see me. I wished I would have recorded even on the security camera. You can see me get out of the truck, look around for my phone for a little bit, give up. And then just pull my dick out and pee right there in their parking lot because it was raining, so I didn't care, I guess.
Right.
But I wish I would have recorded that part of it. All I have is where the truck bounces through the parking lot, and then I cut off the recording because I was so embarrassed in that point that I was that shitty drunk because the people were making fun of me.
Yeah, that's so funny.
What's next? Russian meth?
Разрешать бы внешними спортивную технику расчищивать и просто переносить претензии суда. Ты думаешь, мне просто будешь погонять кадра? Надо будет судиться за имущество. Пусть раздела его. Блять, ебало. Разрешать бы внешними...
Yeah, it's a lot. I don't know.
You're gonna get me in trouble.
Get her to translate, bro.
Oh shit!
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So
I was about to say, I want to know what the fuck she's saying.
I have no idea.
Okay, when I first saw this, at first I was like, is she even speaking English? And then I played it a couple of times, and I was like, oh, that's not even English.
It's
you know
Russian.
What I mean? But yeah, it sounds Russian.
Yeah, it does. I've tried to learn as a romantic thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's hard as.
You need to learn Spanish first.
I can't even. I can hardly speak English first.
Yeah. All right, let's look at this next one.
Hey, you know what? Life's a bitch. Life sucks, but if you have...
I was in jail with that guy.
It's really good. Drink some beer, buddy.
I think I was in jail with that guy.
I think we all were in jail with that guy. I think I worked in the oil field with that guy.
Yeah.
I think that guy lives in my hometown.
Council Bluffs, Iowa. I swear that was him.
Yeah. What's funny about this is he didn't even take the time to make a username. It's just user 6267369737228.
I actually think that's probably the most original thing he could have done.
This is my message for all the marine life. What's it like down there? What kind of snacks y'all got? Can I come and visit? Splish splash.
She said, "This is my message,"
Yeah.
and then just asked a bunch of questions.
Yeah. Oh, then she said, "This is my message for all the marine life."
Yeah.
Yeah.
High as hell.
Yeah, super stoned, right?
I never smoked weed, so every time the 1 or 2 times that I did, that's how I got.
What?
I didn't like weed.
For real?
I hated it.
This thing was Coke and beer.
Mm-hmm. I only used weed
ethanol.
to smoke or to come down. Well, this girlfriend I had for at one point got me really high.
Yeah.
And it was like that.
I hated it every time, but I did it all the time.
What, weed?
Yeah, I get so fucking paranoid, man.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it for a little bit, and then every time I'm not doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking 4 hours later.
I got paranoid for sure, but I used to smoke so much that I would get headaches and shit. You know? I would literally just smoke.
Make videos like that.
Let's look at this next one.
So I'm tripping, but this is for sure the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Oh, wait. Do you see that?
It's literally nothing. It's literally nothing. Yeah. Oh, this one's pretty good. This is a prize one right here.
Only at Walmart at midnight you can get this guy to make you something.
Yeah, I'm a secret.
I'm a secret.
Yeah, secret weapon, right? Secret Santa?
Secret Santa, yeah. I had to shave because it's all white.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So you
didn't want nobody to see my stubbles.
So what are you here for? Just making people bracelets?
Well, I'm gonna just make other stuff too. This was just the beginning.
So are you Christmas shopping too, or just making?
Yeah, I'm gonna confiscate shit.
Confiscate shit from
confiscate.
Yeah, like this right here. Look, selling an American flag? I don't think so.
Hey, hon, I'm actually security. You can't do that.
No, you're not security.
Me too.
Please.
I don't need to put my phone away. I can record.
They're selling the American flag.
Okay, well, why'd you open it?
Because it should be free. American flag should be free. Red, white, and blue.
But you're gonna get in trouble by security.
No, because I'm not taking it home.
You're gonna get in trouble.
No, I'm not.
That reminds me of if Creed was an addict. Creed from The Office.
Oh yeah, he looked like Creed too.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I've definitely done. I've not gotten that far, but I remember one time I walked in. I was partying in Canyon, Texas, and I walked into these girls' apartments that we had met the night before, and I told them that the wall chargers in our apartment didn't work. And I'm pretty sure I looked like that. I was in that state of mind because I needed to plug my phone in, but you know what I mean? So that's exactly what that made me think of.
Yeah, that dude was fucking whacked, bro.
Like, I don't know. He can make.
Huh?
I want to see what he can make.
He never made anything.
I know Tweakers are crazy, bro. Like, they can just, like, fucking wire up a fucking house off of a car battery. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, the week I tried meth, I ended up at this fucking house over here, like, somewhere in town, where the power was off, but they had, like, rigged up most of the lights in the house to a generator that they had stolen. And, oh, my God.
Just making it work.
Yeah. Jesus. The week I was on meth, I had fucking driven this dude, this pimp and his prostitute around to get meth, and then we ended up at this house where the lights were off, and they had we were all sitting in the dark. It was sketchy.
Sounds like a great time.
Yeah. All right, this guy's.
Ooh.
I just took a DNA test. Turns out I'm 100% swag money.
What do y'all think about that? You think that he gets drugs? Or
he still has some teeth.
Yeah, he had some teeth. He was missing a few. He had some. So I don't know. I mean,
he was 100% what?
100% swag money.
Swag money.
Swag money.
Swag money.
I'm gonna have to start saying that.
This guy's special. I've got several of his saved.
This guy, dude.
You've seen him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's my gas can. My brother Josh blew himself up and his 2 kids.
What?
I follow him on Instagram. Dude.
Oh, you follow him on Instagram? I follow him on TikTok, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about?
Are they just all like that? They
yeah,
literally
dude.
know.
Or like he'll go into like a spill about like a conspiracy, but like he like talks okay, but like if you take in the whole of what he's saying, it's like what? Like it's just it's grandiose. You know what I mean?
I didn't understand
Dude,
anything.
my buddies just send me his videos all the time on Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah, he has like a lot of followers and shit, and I don't know.
Posts like 10 a day.
And he's like super shredded, but like all the shit he says is like, what? What are you even fucking talking about?
The first video I saw of him, he had a frog in his mouth, and he opens his mouth, and the frog jumps out, and then he just starts talking.
Yeah, he's fucking out there, man.
Can y'all believe that this is what the internet's being used for?
Oh, dude, if you're a TikTok is wild, bro.
I've never been on it.
I think about if this shit was out when I was in high school, me and my friends would be in jail.
Yeah.
Like we would be in trouble.
Yeah.
We would have.
Yeah, I mean,
horrible.
I guess Vine came out. Vine came out when I was like 21 or 20. Maybe
I remember Vine. I remember I was pretty. Yeah.
I mean, it's basically Vine.
Yeah.
But it's got a little more features and shit, but it's just funny that it's pretty much the exact same app, you know, but it's just a little different. It's got a couple other features, but it's just funny. But yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a fuckload more, but those are the ones I picked for y'all. I just thought that I'd appreciate those.
That was good.
I don't have TikTok. I'm gonna have to get it.
It's pretty good, man. So I end up.
You keep making posts about it, where you're constantly on TikTok, right?
I mean, kind of. I make a few, but I mean,
the one of his is so fucking funny, dude.
You're on it, yeah.
Well, he put it on Facebook. That's where I first saw it.
Yeah.
So fucking funny, man.
Sometimes I'll find stuff that like these make me laugh harder than some other shit. Like when people aren't even trying to be funny, like, and I find fucking weirdos or something, like it just makes me laugh, you know. But yeah, man. I mean,
there's something about just a short clip of somebody doing something stupid.
Right.
It reminds me of the short little memories that I have of me doing something stupid. That's all
so bad.
Yeah.
I have so many like short, just little clips.
And it's those ones that make you like kind of cringe a little bit.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh, I remember I did that. It makes you just want to like.
Yep. In the winter break of, I think I was either eighth grade or freshman in high school. Me and all my friends made, we made this thing we made like a short little 3-minute thing called Grab Ass, and it was like this dumb version of Jackass. And I there's like, it's on YouTube, part of it, the trailer or whatever. And somebody shared it a few months ago, and I saw it, and I was like, oh my god, it made me cringe so hard. I was like, what were we doing? Like, we were just doing dumb, stupid shit, you know? Yeah,
that's funny.
That's
man.
what trips me out about kids now. Is like I mean, we grew up and we were still playing outside and stuff, and we had video games and shit, you know, but we're like the last generation that had both, you know. But now kids, like, growing up in this like new generation, it trips me out, man. They're gonna have to deal with so much new shit that they don't even, you know what I mean, like cyberbullying and all that shit, you know, like a record of like their fucking weird shit that you do, like when you're going through puberty, and like, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I try not to constantly have my phone pointed at my kid.
Right.
I see that, and I see all these cute videos and shit on Facebook and Instagram and all these different things of like people trying to catch their kids doing funny stuff.
Right.
And I'm like, what, do you understand that just because of those, for those few likes, that kid's embarrassed for the rest of his life, you know?
Yeah.
So I have a hard time with
it's not even just that. It's like just enjoying the moment.
Yeah,
right,
that too, yeah.
Yeah.
There's I took a couple of videos of her skiing this past weekend.
Yeah.
But I mean, based like from the I think I have like maybe 4 minutes of actual footage, and then but in retrospect we were up there for hours and hours and hours and hours.
Right.
But that's what I try to stay away from, is like embarrassing her, because she'll tell me. Right. She's like, don't post that.
Right.
Don't post that. And I'm like, how do you know? How are you that aware that you know that's going to go on a social media platform and that somebody else is going to see that? Like potentially hundreds or thousands of other people are going to see that.
Yeah. It's weird, man. It's weird that they're growing up with it. And like, you know, we kind of grew up with too. I mean, I remember in junior high when MySpace came out, that was like huge, you know, you're freaking top 8. And
that was brutal, man.
Yeah. I mean, dude, kids nowadays, if they had a top 8, it would be fucking, everybody would be getting cyberbullied, basically. You know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's weird, man. But it's just a new world, you know?
Or when Snapchat used to get you all caught up whenever you showed your top 3 or whatever. If you could.
Oh, yeah. You got caught up a lot. Huh?
Better not let your girl see who's got you got a streak with.
Well, now on the iPhone, you just swipe to the left and it shows you who your top few are.
What?
Yeah, if you can see who you frequently Snapchat. At least. Oh, sorry. Look at his phone. Swipe left, and see.
She doesn't have a Snapchat.
Well, she can get your phone.
What?
And look at your phone.
The only people I Snapchat are my buddies from back home.
Yeah. I just post show flyers mostly on all social media. I mean, I use all of it a little bit, but I don't know.
I have Facebook because I'm old. Apparently, I was told yesterday that Facebook's only for old people, and I have Instagram and Snapchat.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, man. It's
so. I mean, it's getting close to 5 if y'all want to, you know, kind of wrap it up. But I mean, so the Cove?
Yeah, it's called the Cove. I guess we didn't talk about it at all, why we named it that.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I mean,
well,
we aren't in a rush to leave. I mean,
no, we got a few minutes. But, I mean, you were there for most of it. We did a mind map because I couldn't think of anything. The history of me and forming a company has always gone back to, in the book, it talks about this arch that you pass through to freedom after you know, when it's speaking about the fifth step, right? So, and it asks you all these series of questions like, are all the bricks in place? Have you made mortar without sand? And all these different questions about basically just asking, have you completely dove into these steps up to this point? And are you willing to continue to dive into these steps to your best abilities and like be completely honest on these different things? And it speaks about this archway. And I remember we were talking about that one time in a group or in a meeting or something, but I visualized this brick archway and this light behind it. And I always thought of arch, like an archway. Right. And that's what I always wanted to kind of live my life by, like because I have to have visual stuff. So like the steps, like there's 12 bricks or whatever, and like the little things in between, the relationships, the friendships, all the other different things, the mortar in between for me, and the different things like that. And so whenever that came up, I wanted to initially call it the archway or arches or something like that. But there's another place in town that's very similar to. Right. And we didn't want to, run into any kind of, issues like that. Yeah, or getting it mistaken with anything. So I started thinking about other things that were shaped that way. And we all kind of brainstormed. We had the mind map, and we plugged their name into a bunch of different...
We brainstormed for like an hour.
Yeah, just that one.
We were like saying thrive.
Yeah.
We came up with a bunch, man.
I had tons. I still have them on my iPad, just like a mind map of probably about 18 to 20 names.
Right.
And the cove just kept sticking out to me. Because in architecture, it has to do with like a cove ceiling where it's kind of like, where it almost looks like an arch. Right. You know what I mean? And that kind of stood out to me. And then of course it's a protected area in a bay, right? So it could be, but it could be like a little area off of a bay where the waves don't hit it, and the water still flows in, but it's calm and serene and it's protected. And I know that word protected stuck out to me. Because I, want us to be a place where people can be sheltered enough, but in the real world enough too. So they're still part of the rest of the pool, the rest of the ocean, but they have this this cover around them, which is us as role models and the program that we've developed
and their peers,
right. All the different levels of accountability, the community itself to kind of protect everybody that's involved, and just to kind of facilitate that growth as it goes forward. So we came up with the Cove. It works great with digital marketing.
Yeah, I like it.
I mean, Cove is in the word recovery.
Oh, thought about that.
Never thought about that either.
I like that.
I sat down with Chase.
Subliminal.
Yeah, I sat down with Chase, and he's a freaking genius, man. He drew up a bunch of different things, and we were sitting there drawing a bunch of stuff, and I just all of a sudden we realized that the Cove recovery, and it fits. It's right in the middle of the word RERY on either side. So that'll look really cool on t-shirts and marketing material, and it just seems like it just all happened so effortlessly after we chose it. It all fell together, and cool. I'm really happy with the name now.
Yeah, I like it. So I mean, you have a website yet, or?
No, I'm working on that right now. Okay. Chase has got the graphic developed and it's put together. Kip is gonna come and do some pictures and a little bit of footage. I was really uncomfortable.
Oh, you're good.
And then I'm gonna ask you now where you can't say no to put the video together for us.
Absolutely. Yeah, of course, man.
Yeah, he's gonna get some footage, hopefully, of the houses, and that way everything looks real nice. And I mean, it's great. The one house the existing house is on 111th Street, so it's only about 5 years old. It's pretty new house, real big giant ceilings, and I really like that place. The new one's a little bit older, but it's still
newly renovated.
Yeah, newly renovated. We just had a contractor get out of there 3 days ago. All new flooring, new paint, a bunch of different stuff that we had done in there. Right. But the best part about that one, and I'm kind of jealous because I've been over there the last couple of days, and there's this giant park across the street.
Oh, really? What park? Which park?
I don't remember what it's called, but it's on 91st Street. It's off of 91st in Indiana.
Okay.
But it's got this giant park across the street with a running track around it, and a disc golf course on it, and a lake with all the, what are they called? Geese, I guess. I don't know what they are.
Yeah, it's just right now. They're all down here.
Yeah.
Eating geese.
Yeah, there's all those geese out there making a bunch of noise, and but it's really nice. Like it's really peaceful, and then there's people walking around just out there hanging out.
We were over there a minute ago, and people were playing disc golf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Never seen grown men play disc golf before, but apparently it's a pretty popular thing. But it's really cool. It's right there across the street.
That's one cool thing about Lubbock is we have a shit ton of parks.
Yeah, there really is.
There's like 19 parks or something in city limits or something.
At least that, yeah. And this one's pretty neat. I like it. And I think it'll look cool with some little bit of drone footage, and then we're gonna fly it. Kip feels pretty confident he's a good enough pilot to fly it into the house. And
nice.
Have some cool stuff like that.
Yeah, man. I if you need me to edit whatever, I'm down or whatever. But that's cool.
Yeah, I can barely make a website, so I
Squarespace, bro.
More than me.
That's what we're gonna do. Use Squarespace for sure.
It's really easy to use.
Yeah, spend a little bit of money on that, but yeah, we're gonna. That's why we're getting out of here at 5, just to go and got all the beds put in before we got here, and we're gonna go get a couch. And,
I just gotta fill it with some heads, man.
Yep. Yeah, we got one guy headed in there soon. Cool. Next week. That's what we're kind of rushing.
You're gonna move in there ASAP?
Yeah.
Cool.
Tonight, I guess. Tonight or tomorrow, pretty much. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. I'm really proud of you guys. I'm excited for what the future holds, and it's pretty incredible, man. It's incredible to see where we all have come. You know what all we've done and accomplished just in a couple of years since getting sober. You know, and yeah, man, it's just awesome. So I'm glad you guys got to come and do the first episode of the year. Yeah, and new format, new setup in here, and
yeah, I love this, and
dude, this is nice.
Yeah, we'll do it again. You know,
for sure.
Anytime y'all want to promote stuff with the Cove or whatever, and just it'll be good. So.
Yeah, I just want to say how proud of you, we are, or at least me, like you doing this shit, and then the band taking off like it has, and
yeah, man.
I mean, I remember helping you load in a couple years back, and it was like you had talked about wanting to be, pretty big and successful and stuff, and now it's here.
It's getting there.
It's all well, I mean, just in general, like even outside of the music stuff, but with this and it's really incredible how, because we've talked about us this whole time, but like how all of us.
That's what I'm saying. Included. I mean, we, us all kind of going through sober living together. Like it's crazy to see who is where, you know what I mean? Like where everybody's at now. And like a lot of people who I thought were going to be still sober are gone. Mm-hmm. Not gone, but I'm just saying they're not sober anymore.
Yeah. And some of them are gone.
We've seen people die.
And stuck in the same place too.
Yeah. Stagnant. But yeah, it's cool, man. And I mean, 5-10 years from now, it's going to be even crazier to see where we all are, And, it's just awesome.
Yeah. I can't wait for that. I mean, I want to enjoy every moment as it passes, but I can't wait to see, I can't wait to see what Lubbock looks like after we're all up there in that position.
And that's one thing that relationships help me do, man, is actually take a second and enjoy what we're doing, what we've accomplished.
Yeah.
It's giving me that little break in the day.
Yeah.
Just be like, damn, we're doing good.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I love you guys, man. Thanks for doing this. It was fun.
Love you too, brother.
And stay off TikTok if you relapse. Bye, y'all.